All right, so it has been a very long time since I posted another video. A lot's been happening actually in work life and also personal life. We are soon to make the move up to Trondheim from where we are now here in the Telemarki and countryside. It has been all actions go. I've currently upgraded into a small home office, which has been good. Now I'm away from the bedroom and I can set things up and I can have my space and freedom to do these things. Although, even though I have it, I haven't had that much time, ironically enough, to create any of these videos. So this one's going to be a short one, just a quick update of what's happening professionally. I've been working rock solid on a music video, and I've also been working rock solid on a couple of state projects. So they have been... Now, my job as a photographer, cinematographer, they kind of overlap a lot. So I kind of get asked to do photography, videography, things in and out in between quite often. So I have to be a bit flexible of, okay, how am I to do this? What equipment am I to use? And a game plan for the production, or for a production that a client might throw at you. So in the example that I will give, it's going to be very much around the job that I had done. Anyway, I'll go through that a little bit more in depth. And also I have been, like I said, when I've been busy, I've been selling things, cleaning out the cupboard, and that's been really good for me. And then I've been reinvesting a couple of things, including these cool little tubes here. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. These things are freaking awesome. I've got a little one here, which I've just stuck with a little magnet, as you can probably see here. Maybe I'll just illuminate it with a bit of gaffer tape to the wall. You know, that's what they suggest in the packaging. These little pavo tubes, for me, I've done a couple of little projects now with them already, and man, I can safely say that these things are the future. I'm giving myself a little bit of fill light over here with one of them. I'm giving myself not a key light, but just something that I can show the stuff without it being too mysterious, because I've actually got, if I take that away, everything is a little bit dark, but here I can give myself a little bit of extra light. I'm using the daylight as a key light because I couldn't be bothered setting up the big light, and today is a stormy, windy day, and it's good diffuse light that's coming in. It's enough. You just gotta think for that. Minimal setup is great for me right now because I'm pretty busy. Little pavo tube here set to red, just to give me a little red kicker. Whatever. It's nothing special. It's nothing outrageous. I just quickly set it up. Just that quick little disclaimer statement for my Patreons. You know, Michael, Joa, and Sean, 3 legends. You're either going to watch this and go, what's he doing? Where has he been? Now, here we are. Next month is going to be the packing and moving. So I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot of content in that time, but I have a couple of small things that I want to put together and share. That includes a little music video that I want to put together using these little pavo tube lights, because I've got something that I really want to create, as in like a small whatever project, and share that with you guys at the end of it. So that being said, I'm gonna cut a long story short and get into a cool little bit of tech gear, because I noticed that Sean made a little comment on one of the polls, and I've been reading it all and I've been trying to pan it all out, and today I just want to share with you a couple of little lenses that I use more often than I thought I would when I first bought these lenses. Now, looking for lenses is always a tricky thing for anybody. You know, you see so many recommendations online, and you know, pros and cons, and soft and sharp and all this kind of stuff, and it's a little bit subjective. It's a little bit, you know, of the nature of the beast. Do you opt into getting something optically super sharp, or do you get something that's a little bit older and that could be a bit soft and then just stop it down? You know, it's subjective. You know, it's an artistic process. Would you use them on a professional shoot? Maybe. And could you use them comfortably on a professional shoot? Could you rely on it? You know, that's another thing. You know, you've got to separate the thing from passion to profession. And, you know, I do this all the time. I try and mix it up a little bit. You know, I've got my Carl Zeiss lenses, for example, the one that I'm shooting on right now. Fantastic lenses, and I use them right across the board because they give me nice character, but also they give me nice sharpness. They're my moneymaker lens kit, or this is my moneymaker lens kit. I've got the 50mm here right now because I was doing some filming. Wow. I did some extra work for this one, which I should, but I've been challenging myself a little bit within my time constraints here. And just some little B-roll action of these two little lenses. So these two little lenses, you can't really see much on them right now because I have a circular polarizer filter on, and I have a step-up ring on them, because what I've been doing also, amongst everything else, is that I've been getting frustrated because I haven't had so much standardization across all of my lenses. So I bought a bunch of these step-up rings from a Singaporean distributor and imported them in here, and they're step up from all of the different sizes that I have of my Carl Zeiss lenses and these lenses and my old Russian lenses, to step them up to 77mm. And 77mm, why did I go for that? Well, I actually have a variable ND and a circular polarizer filter in 77, because when I had my old Canon lenses before, my large ones were 77, so I kept them from there. Circular polarizing, I have seen and I have heard some funky business going on with the wider end. However, I've got a 20mm here, which I've been using with it, and I haven't seen much problem. I think actually what it is, when you're on the wider spectrum, you can polarize one side out of it, and then it kind of leaves the other side unpolarized, and it's kind of gives a bit of a weird, funky effect. I need to test that out a little bit more as the days come on. Anyway, that being said, I've standardized all of my lenses, which has been awesome, to all look the same. All fit the same filters of 77mm, and that's just saves me a lot of bucks and a lot of filters, just buying individual filters for lenses, which makes no sense. When you can just screw on these ones when you swap lenses over, and there you go, you've got a variable ND lens across all of them, or polarizer, or stack the filters, if that works. Okay, lots of words just said then. So now I'm going to talk about these two little beauties. These are Falklander lenses, and I wrote about them before, talking about their characteristics, and also they're really small little lenses. I'll start with the 20mm. The 20mm is f3.5, and you know, it's an aspherical lens, and it's got some nice coatings on it, and I don't know. For me, for my personal and professional use, I have used this on a number of occasions. I have used these lenses when I was working with gimbal work. 20mm is a super handy wide-angle lens, and the 40mm is a beautiful, beautiful kind of standard lens. I actually kind of find that I enjoy the 40mm more than the 50mm for some reason. I guess it's just taste. But the image quality that I get from these lenses, particularly the 40mm is also an spherical f2 lens. Super tiny little lenses and super awesome. Made of metal, made in the Cosina factory in Japan. Same with the Carl Zeiss ZE Classics. So the quality is there. I find with the optics, they are optically amazing. You might get some funky like out of focus area or the bokeh in the background, but that doesn't seem to be bothersome too much for me, for my work. I've used this lens actually on one of my last advertising jobs for a portrait of one of my clients, so a video portrait, and I just love the image that I got from it. Given that I put the lens on a RAD Epic with a 5K sensor, I found the quality just to be beautiful. It was the right amount of sharpness and it was the right amount of softness, and it gave them, for me, a good separation but detail in the background and foreground and then on the subject. I can't say more that this is one of my favorite investments over the last two, let's say, well, when did I buy this? It was one of my favorite investments of all time, let's say. One, because of the size, the compact nature of it, and also like the quality of it. And when at f2 on this lens, and you get a flare, which is super unique to this lens itself, the 40mm, you get this kind of ringing effect, and I love that flare so much. It can be bothersome for some people who don't want that flare. Fine, just stop it down to f2.8. That flare is just gone, or that kind of ring flare is gone. Again, with these two lenses, because they are from the same maker, they have the same image quality, and that's great because you've got a wide and then a kind of standard or portrait lens, and it looks great. But they are pretty expensive, and they're not so easy to find. I find that these little suckers are really rare to find these days on the used market, but I couldn't recommend them enough. I just love the image quality. I love the size. I love that you can put the step-up ring on it, and then you can put your big filters. You can get gimbal. You can do handheld work with it. They look great. I love the quality of them. I use them also quite often for photographic projects. I've used this one on the 40mm and also the 21mm on film cameras, which I'll provide an example here as B-roll, and then also on my digital SLR as well. I don't know. I can't dispute the image quality. And when people say, okay, it's not 4K ready, it's not this ready, that's BS. I actually think that you, as a photographer, must make the decision to try out different lenses. Me, as the photographer, for myself, when I bought this, I was like, whew, that's a good deal. I think I paid something like 3,000 krona for this one, maybe. I don't know. And I paid much less for the 20mm. And yes, f3.5 isn't bright, but I mean, it's kind of like used as a landscape lens or something wider in that fact. And I don't miss that it's not bright, really. It doesn't bother me so much. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings when it comes to that, in terms of not that many feelings. I got it, was happy with the quality of it, and enough said. You can shoot it in low light, it's fine. It's an ultra wide angle lens. Everything's going to be pretty much sharp anyway. Nothing more to be said. What's the creative process, and what's the choice and the idea behind it? And then I'll make my purchasing decision if there's a good price that comes up. I mean, for these two lenses combined, I paid, what was it? Max 5,000 krona, which is probably around 450 euro, if we're in the euro sense. And actually, you three guys that are on the Patreon right now, you're all in Europe, so I'll just say that, in the euros. So about 450 euros. It is on the expensive side when you're talking about manual focus lens, but they're all made of metal. They're going to outlast you probably. I think they're a solid investment, and they're a lot of fun swapping in and out. Yeah. One last thing before I finish up on this little video is I've also got a super duper high intensity LED light that I'm going to be testing out for a test shoot, because I want to do some tests before actually taking it on the field. I did some internet research on it, and including listening to a guy called, I think it's called Meet the Gaffer, but I think there's also another one, an Australian guy in Victoria, and he did a review on it, and I was just like, you know what, I think I'm going to get the Forza from Nanlite, same with the same makers of these little Pavo tubes. By the way, I'm really impressed with build quality. Magnets, you can stick them anywhere. So cool. You can just tune all the colors. Like, I mean, I'll quickly get into it now. So if I go into this HSI mode and put this one on to its, let's say 70%, and then we'll go through the hues, and then we'll just have a look at all of these. There we go, the greens, teal, blue, coming into purples, I'm going to pink, red, orange, back to green. Yeah, it's a really cool. And then we've got like this candle fire dramatic effect here. I've used this like 3 times already. I love it. It's fun. It's probably a little bit overdone, a little bit cheesy, but you know, for the effect that I was going for, it worked. Then we got something like disco effect. It's kind of cool. I'm not sure, it doesn't respond to sound, but I think there might be, yeah, there's no option to respond to sound. So, and then you can also change things of all the different colors and whatnot. And then you've got also your CCT. So you can change to your temperature. So if I am to make this a bit warmer, there we go. It goes down to 2,700 Kelvin. It's also got a green magenta tweak. And that's really, 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 really awesome. Especially if you notice that your light's just a little bit too green. Especially when going up into the whites. Like, let's go, camera set at 5,000 Kelvin. So this should be technically white. But you can also shift the green magenta. And then if we go up to, right up to 75, so that's a cool light. Really awesome. And it's made of metal. This is a Pavo Tube 6C. 1,000 kroner for these little guys, for sticking them on a little light stand over here just to give us a slight kicker light. Stick a bit of gaffer tape over these little magnets and just go and then, well, yeah, well, that was a bad example. I think you meant to have 2. So if I'm to stick one here and then the next one up here and really stick that down, and then let's turn it on, and there you go, just stuck to the wall. That's cool, right? It's cool for me. I really enjoy it. But I went straight off the topic there. Bought the Forza 500, and I bought the Fresnel light, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. But wow, firepower extreme. I think that's it. I think that's it for an update now, and I think that's enough said. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and if there's anything you want me to tackle in terms of like gear talk, in terms of like reviews of stuff, it would be nice to kind of start creating stuff, tailoring stuff a little bit more about what you guys want to see. And I know, Joa, you're itching to see this lighting techniques video, and it's in the mix, man. Now I've got these little Pavo tubes. I've got a couple of cool things to do on the cheap, small little like lighting situations, scenarios that can be fun to do with the gear that you got. And I know, Joa, that you've got these little LED panels, and they're great. Diffuse them, remember, otherwise you get that kind of little weird gritty pattern on the shadows there. And I noticed with these Pavo tubes, because they're diffused like this, they don't give that little pattern. They give a nice even shadow spread. So that's really top. So that's going to be the lighting video. Gear talk video is always something that I'm happy to do, because I've got lots of gear, and I'm happy to talk about things of like why I got these things, why did I get rid of those things, and so on and so forth, because it's important not to get bogged down with lots of stuff, because, you know, as a video man, as a photographer, it's easy to get a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff in here. I need my own little home office just to store all of my stuff and my computer and all this kind of stuff, because actually, you know what? I need it. I need it for a lot of productions. I need audio equipment. I need lighting. Lighting is like paramount. I need monitoring equipment. I need the computers. I need the cameras, the lenses. It's all like, okay, what do I use at the end of the day? And I look at that from production to production and I go, hang on, I really need this. If I don't have this, I'm not going to survive at all. I'm not going to make my money. And I think that's something, you know, like if you're looking to get into the video stuff or the photography stuff, you know, you got to go, okay, what do I have available that I don't need to rent? And what do I have available that that is useful on set? That it's not so clumsy, but like, you know, it helps the process along, you know, from like capture to record to finalization to sending out. It's a hell of a process and it's a long journey. And I've been doing this like flat out for the last 2 years at least, 2.5 years at least. And it's a non-stop process. It's a process of learning after trying different things. And it's really crazy. I feel crazy about this because there's not so many big advancements and the big professional stuff. You know, there's still like, okay, top end lights and stuff. With the LED technology, the light compact is smaller and that's awesome. With the cameras, you know, okay, whatever. I could be using an older camera, which I am using an older camera, but I could be using a much smaller and compact camera that does the same thing. But, you know, I have these production cameras. I have 2 of them, the Epic and the Scarlett, because they give me the same picture, standardized. I can mount all the same lenses on it. That's great. You know, and I know that the picture looks good to me. And then there's also the monitoring things. You know, I need a good microphone to be able to capture voice. I need lights to be able to light the scene, because if I don't have lights, then I'm relying on days like this. Not really, but also learning how to fix the light when you're outside in the sunlight. If you want to bring in a neg, you want to drop in a diffuser, etc., etc. The list goes on. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to cut this video right now because it's getting way too long and my head is just spilling out. I'm really excited to get back and creating stuff, but I'm also super busy with all the other things. So last words, if you don't see or hear from me over the next 2 months, you know that I'm busy moving houses. And I'm getting a studio in Trondheim. So I also plan of doing some more stuff, and getting the studio in Trondheim means I have a studio in the city centre, and that is awesome. That's the first time for me that I'm going to be paying for a studio space to have all of my stuff to actually, you know, do my work. So it's a life goal going up here, you know, instead of sitting in my once bedroom, but now home studio office, I'm able to expand, to do more things and to create more things with these. And that's the whole point of this. So that's it from me for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.